Sure, the journey actually began in 2007, which was, almost 20 years ago, when I lost a young family member to a road crash. And that's when, for the first time, I realized that this was a significant public health issue. A lot of families are affected by this on a daily basis, and that something had to be done at a systemic level, not just at a behavior level, to fix the issues that were causing such a large number of deaths. And that's how the journey began. We first focused on the Good Samaritan Law and then focused on applying the best practices on the ground by creating zero fatality corridors and zero fatality districts. And what we're really trying to do here at Davos this time is to show that there is a model for safer roads that is not coming from the West, but coming from the global South, that demonstrates how what the lived realities in our countries are and how the solutions ought to be designed for the people that are most affected by it, the vulnerable communities that we talk about. So it's been a while, but we still have a long way to go. And this meeting here in Davos is just one of the milestones in terms of taking this conversation to the policymaker level also.
So as you said, we are in Davos, and you are saying that the example from India can be actually set an example for the world, or not entire world, for most of the country. How you differentiate the laws?
Yeah.
Each country, Europe should have what laws, and what India or other
Yeah.
laws. Or
Yeah.
How do you differentiate that?
I think the biggest differentiator is the application of what we call cultural empathy, which is that you have to recognize what works in countries like India. I'll give you the example of Good Samaritan Law. Good Samaritan Law is also in Western countries, including in France, for example. And in France, if you don't help someone, there is a penalty for it. But in India, the challenge was not that there should be a penalty. The challenge was that to help, there was a penalty. People get entangled in legal hassles. So we didn't have to threaten them with a penalty. We had to insulate them. We had to create a conducive environment for them. Similarly, when we talk about actual road safety on the ground, safe mobility, which is so important for Viksit Bharat 2047, we have to understand that there are on-ground realities of people who live alongside highways, the most vulnerable road users who are pedestrians, cyclists, public transport users, not by choice, but often by compulsion because they simply don't have access to safer modes of transport. So the conversation really is that how do we design solutions for what works on the ground? And our work on various highways in India, including the Mumbai-Pune Expressway, the Yamuna Expressway, various districts like Nagpur, Unnao in UP, and now 100 other districts across the country, is demonstrating that when you work at a hyper-local level, with the lived realities of people, you are able to create change on the ground. And we are hoping that we are able to scale that effort to across the country in India, but also perhaps make this as a Make in India solution to other low and middle income countries that are suffering from this very issue.
You made a very good point, linking it to Make in India and also linking it to Viksit Bharat. Obviously, people are the biggest currency of any country.
Yes.
So you see this having some impact even on terms of GDP? How do you see that?
So as per the World Bank, India loses anywhere from 3% to 5% of its GDP every year because of road crashes alone. This is a documented, reported fact by the World Bank, acknowledged by the government of India. And by plugging road crash fatalities, we are also contributing to the significant loss that is, to preventing the loss that is happening because of these road crashes. So we're talking about, nearly $100 billion worth of economic loss that can be prevented if we are able to take action on this particular issue. The other aspect, besides the GDP loss, is the fact that 64% of those who are killed in India and other low and middle income countries, they come from extremely vulnerable economic backgrounds. They are people who are just about emerging out of poverty. And the moment they have a crash in their family, it almost strikes them like a bullet and they fall back into the grip of poverty because the breadwinner is killed or breadwinner is maimed in these accidents. So we have low-income households that are most drastically affected by this issue. And which is why it's so important to have this conversation at the World Economic Forum, because this is where the economic leaders of the world convene. And we have to make sure that a major contributor to poverty in the global south, which is road crashes, is no longer a peripheral issue, but it's brought into center of the conversation with regard to safe mobility and development in these countries.
Is that the reason you say that road crashes are much worse than, say, plane crashes and all? Because
Yeah, when you look at road crashes from a public health lens, you realize that road crashes contribute more fatalities than TB and malaria put together. In India, TB, malaria, and HIV put together. So we have a significant public health burden that is happening because of road crashes. But when we talk about transportation and mobility, the chances of getting injured in a road crash or losing a life in a road crash is nearly 26, 30 times to 30 times more than most other modes of transport. And with air transport, it's much, much higher. So of course, it's a very, and because roads are used by almost everyone, it ends up being an equity issue. That who's getting access to safer modes, safer roads? Is it just the people who have the ability to purchase the safest cars or the safest modes of transport, or is it everyone? So it has to be a broad public health issue and broad equity issue as well. That's how we're looking at it.
here in Davos, AI is the big buzzword. And how AI is useful in your area of work in saving people?
There is a big push around AI and road safety by the Government of India. The Union Transport Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, has recently announced an initiative where AI is going to be used to interpret the road crash data that is coming out, provide faster insights. We are also looking at using AI for predictive analysis. Can we predict road crashes by bringing some data points together? So there's definitely a huge amount of application. At SaveLIFE, we have used AI for the last 7-8 years. We've trained cameras using AI, fixed with drones, to preemptively identify parked vehicles on highways, because rear-end collisions are a big issue when it comes to road safety. Similarly, we have used AI-trained cameras on intersections to identify conflict and to heat map intersections. So we've created a definition of conflict which is proximity based, and have applied AI to be able to do that. So there's a significant amount of application of AI in this whole space, and in fact I'm part of the AI and social innovation session at Davos, and I hope to be contributing to that with regard to our experience of using it in India at a very, very grassroots, very ground level.
Lastly, Piyush, next month India is hosting Global AI Summit. First, will you be going there, and what message you would want to give to the government of India regarding this AI Summit?
We definitely hope to participate in the Global AI Summit that is being hosted by the Government of India. Our message to the government is that AI has the ability to transform lives. The decisions and the thought process that might take months sometimes can be done in hours or minutes using AI. We have a significant amount of solutioning coming out of AI. So I think we have to make AI more accessible to the public. And I think the Government of India's mission is also to make it more accessible. So we are very much aligned with that. And hopefully AI to make mobility safer should be a big part of the conversation, because mobility gives us access to our most basic rights to health, education, and all the other key development indicators that are so much part of the Viksit Bharat 2047 mission.